Hi there and welcome back to my channel, Our Simple Abundance Year. It's a 2020 journey through Sarah Ban Beathnach's book, Simple Abundance. This is her 2019 revised edition that we're going through. And as we get to the end of each month now, we notice that on the last day of the month, she is having us add something new to our quote-unquote caution closet, as she calls it. So what is a caution closet? It can be an actual closet, but it's a gathering point for essential things. And the thought is that if you had to make a quick exit of your home, that you would have already gathered the things that you would potentially want to grab in the case of an emergency. And so she didn't have anything for the caution closet in January because we were just getting into the book and into the journey. But February, we were encouraged to go through our personal documents and make copies of them, put them all together in a spot where they were together. Yes, don't forget your kitty if you have a kitty. Even making scans and virtual copies of them on a disk, on a zip drive. You could use a disk, I guess. Even potentially storing some of these things in a fireproof box, because those are sometimes things that you can't replace, right? And so that was the first month. Then the second month was creating a first aid supply, so having a little travel first aid kit. And then also she talked about in your home in general, you should have first aid supplies. Things like, we need masks and we needed gloves for a while, things like that, that when you may need to go find them, it might be harder to get them. So creating a first aid kit and having a little small version of it in your caution closet. And then last month, this one I thought was weird, but I have been thinking about this one so much more as well. And that is storing water, so that if you lose running water or you have to grab water on your way out of your house really quickly, that you have some water. And look back at that video, because in the notes of it, I also included an item that she talked about, which I still want to buy. I've just been, honestly, I have not myself gone through and done each of these things yet. I have made a list in my journal as we're going through all of them, and it is really a priority for me to do this year. But back to what I was going to say, and the reason I stopped and had a little tangent there is because I want to get this product, which is a straw that mostly hikers use so that they can drink water and it filters the water for you. But I thought that would be something good to have. Now, in today's entry, this is the May entry, May 31st, she is encouraging us to add to our closet clothing, okay? And sorry for the kitty interference. That's my kitty Annabelle. She's the co-host on the channel, if you're just tuning in. She talks about how her family was out and got soaking wet and then they needed clothes. So this also got me thinking that I'm gonna probably use the trunk of my car for some things. I already keep a pair of hiking boots, sort of work boots, in my trunk. And I was thinking, I think I'm gonna actually put my extra clothes for this one in the trunk of my car, because that is a really good thought, that you could also be out and about and get in an accident or have some sort of thing and you need the clothes. I think I mentioned in another video about how my brother was a Boy Scout, and even now to this day, he's 50 years old, but he's always prepared, just like Boy Scouts are. So there are things that I should add to my trunk as well, like a blanket and some other things as well. So I'm gonna put that on my own list. That's sort of a segue off of this idea. But what she wants, and if you have a family, she wants you to get clothes for everybody too. And she even goes so far as to say that you should have things for every season. I'm thinking in my stash that I'm probably gonna have a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, maybe some gloves and a hat. I think that could be a good idea. The blanket, But I'm not going to go so far as to put like shorts and stuff. I mean, I'll probably just, I still have to go through some of my drawers and things, so I'll probably just put some jeans or whatever that I don't wear often, but that should fit me. She does mention too, and I actually, when I was cleaning out my coat closet, I saw that I had 2 of these, so I could add it right to the thing, which is a like a poncho for rain. And she does say here, her list has got hiking all-weather boots warm enough for walking through snow and rain, 2 pairs of sneakers with good support. So she's got a whole list. This is on page 221 and 222 in the book. So you could look through. I said I'm not going to be as extensive, and I can't even imagine if I were trying to put together all of this for the whole family. That would be a lot of clothes. But she says with having a family that she actually has totes for, or suggests that you have totes for each person in the family. Now, she also says, here we are, we're continuing to gather things for this caution closet. It should be something that you can grab easily. So I'm thinking I have a suitcase that probably not going to be traveling very much in the near future, and maybe I put some of the stuff in the suitcase as well. So I was also thinking, so Annabelle's cat carrier I don't use often either. I could potentially put that, I have a big trunk, I could potentially put that in the trunk and have my clothes and other things that I want to keep in the car in that. That would free up a spot in I have a little outdoor closet right outside my house that all my gardening excess stuff is in. So her cat carrier's in there. So it would be nice to just be able to have for myself something to grab out of the closet. It's supposed to be the closet right closest to your front door. So be able to grab those things and then also know that I have stuff in the car too. I don't know, I started to think, should I not have the car? Because what sort of situation would I have that I wouldn't have access to my car? But I think I would always have access. I suppose a tree could fall in my car or something where I live, and then I can't open the trunk and get stuff. So I can't think of all those horrible possibilities. It's so funny. This one, remember, I wasn't even going to talk about the caution closet because Sarah has all kinds of tools that we've gone through this year, and she keeps adding them. And when I first read this one, I was thinking, I am so not doing that because I don't like to live in fear or having a storm shelter or bomb shelter or saving for the apocalypse or whatever. It's just not my way. But this year has been so nuts, right? And then when I was watching something about the flooding that happened in Michigan recently and people's houses were flowing down the street, I guess I do agree. She says at the end of this, this is what I would say that I agree if I actually had mine together yet, but I'm on my way to doing it. As you prepare your clothing container, ask yourself if there's anything else you'd need, such as sunglasses or an extra pair of eyeglasses, maybe an extra baseball cap. The entire point of this exercise is that the moment you open your closet door, you can say, thank goodness I'm ready. I like that, but there was something else that I meant to read that I'm not seeing it right away, but she was saying, now that we've been doing this for a few months, don't you feel so good knowing that these things are done? So again, this is nothing I would have ever thought to do because I'm sure my brother would, but I've just been more of a free spirit, like, yeah, it'll all be fine, and haven't been prepared. But I can see how the peace of having these things all together would help you feel really good. When I went through my coat closet recently, I have redone the whole thing. I actually have drawers in there now for shoes that I don't wear, like maybe my snow boots that don't have to be out and grabbable all year round. And I have all my winter stuff in one drawer and stuff like that. So I have some drawers in there. Now I have 2 empty drawers, and I was thinking, oh, well, that's one of the drawers I can put my documents in. So I might not have it as, like Sarah recommends, having this all in a backpack or a tote or something. I don't know if I will have it all like that, but I will at least have most of it in the closet here. So I have those 2 drawers available, so I can put some of those things in. I actually found, when you guys know that I'm doing a lot of rearranging to find space, I went underneath my sink in the kitchen and I thought, oh, I can move some cookware that I don't use all the time into this space behind the trash can, because I'll know it's there, but then it frees up in another closet where I want to be able to, a little cabinet where I want to be able to grab stuff I use all the time. So in there, I found that I had saved this giant glass jar from, I don't remember, a few years ago, actually. I didn't even know it was in there. But it's a giant jug, and I thought, I could put water in there for my water closet. So I know what she said about, if you go back and read that water closet, or the water supply one, though, that you don't really want to store the water for lengths of time because it's not going to be drinkable after a while. So where it's going to be stored in that glass jar, it might be okay, but maybe I'll have to put it on a list to just swap out the water. I'll have to see what the life of the water is, maybe every 6 months to a year or something. But I never ever would have thought about storing water, but I think I'm actually going to do that. I have a spot where I'm just going to fill up that jug. It's really, really big. And if I ever was in a drastic situation, then I would have that. And then I want to still get that straw, like I mentioned. So maybe I could drink the water even if it had been in there for a while. These clothes, I'm thinking, it seems like an easy one. I'm sure we all have extra t-shirt or whatever. And this is just to get you tied over to wherever you're going. So I'm thinking about the trunk of my car, and I'm thinking, like I said, Annabelle's cat carrier. I can't put her wet food in there, but I could put some dry cat food in there as well. That should be okay, even with temperatures changing, I think, if I put it in a good basket. You heard Annabelle when you heard food, didn't you? Yes. I will always bring my kitty with me. She doesn't like being in the car, though. So this is another entry for your caution closet. Think about doing what I did, which is, if you're not ready to do this yet, make a page in your journal where you can keep track of them as we're going through, and try to make a goal for yourself, a deadline of when you're going to do each one of the things. I have felt sort of overwhelmed by the very first one, which was the document one, because it's kind of a complicated thing to scan documents on my printer, and so I've been just thinking, well, why don't I just put the originals in there? And like I told you, I was also thinking of getting a firebox. So I've got this all in my head, and I made a journal page for it. So even if I haven't totally done it all, and I'm not doing it in real time, I'm hoping to get it done. And I'll set the goal to get it done during this Simple Abundance year that we're having. That is a part of order, right? That's one of the principles: joy, harmony, beauty, order, simplicity, and gratitude. So that would definitely be an order. The caution closet would be an order thing. And peace is not one of the principles, but I could say that having taken those steps to get everything done, just like Sarah said, thank goodness I'm prepared, or thank goodness I already did this, I could say that that could give you a little sense of peace, even if it's something that you don't think about all the time. Like, these are things that I have not thought about. But we had an earthquake this year, we had a tornado, we've had a pandemic. Like I said, I saw the flooding, we have all this violence happening. Anything could happen. I hate living like that, but I guess I'm just being a little bit more realistic, and I can see the point of, even if you never have to use these things, at least you took the time to know that you prepared for whatever might happen. So take it if it resonates, and if not, you can always tune out to these caution closet entries. But that is the May 31st entry on the clothing. She called it Something to Wear. That was the entry for May 31st. I'll be back with you tomorrow for the June Joyful Simplicities. where we start a new month, and this has been a great month. Closing out of May here, always my favorite month of the year, and I really enjoyed the entries that we had this month on the home, and I feel like you guys all seem to be pretty inspired. There were lots of great comments, and I can tell you're all giving most of this stuff at least a nod. If it's not resonating totally, it's at least getting you sort of thinking about it, and maybe, like I said with this, putting a journal entry in for revisiting it later. But it's great. I'm glad you're here with me. If you haven't yet, subscribe, hit like. The more comments and likes and subscriptions we have, the more YouTube ends up suggesting the video to others. And I do notice there's a good percentage of people. It's like 50% of the people watching the videos are not subscribers. So hit the subscribe button, and then you can also hit the bell and be notified every time I post. No matter what, I'm glad you're here, glad you found this video. Maybe it will help to bring you some peace in the future. Hopefully this is stuff you never have to use, but you'll at least be prepared. Have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Love to you all. Bye-bye.